Louisiana Heart Beats. I'm Cindy Landry, and today I have a person with me, James Cross, who has become a author, and he is newly releasing this book that is now going to be available on Amazon.com. All you need to do is just type in his name, James Cross, and that book will come up. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Can you believe we finally going to be able to start the show?
We got it. Yeah.
It's fun. We had all kinds of little things we had to jump through, but thanks to a great director that I have, we made it. Look how good he's making us look up there. Okay, Deanna, I just want to bring attention to the name of the book that's under that picture. It's called Tales from the Big W. And he is going to be sharing stuff with you so that you'll know what that W means. For a while there, until I researched, I didn't know what that W meant. But anyway, he loves creating stories based on the truth. But according to him and what I read, you like to put your own twist to that. So welcome to the show, James.
Thank you.
Okay, I want to, first of all, this is a Acadiana Open Channel. Thank you, too, for giving us this opportunity and also for you being able to come in. James, would you share with the viewing audience where you were born and then, a little bit about your work? We want to know about how you started, okay? So you were born in New Orleans?
I was born in New Orleans and grew up in New Iberia.
Hey, all right.
And my father was in heavy construction, and I followed him and went in heavy construction, and I worked all over the southeast United States and in the Caribbean even. And when I got out of that, I came back to Louisiana, and I was working building offshore oil facilities at the Port of Iberia. And then in an oil downturn in 1982, my wife was having a lot more fun than me. And she was in the travel business, so I became a travel agent. We had Acadiana Travel here in Lafayette.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
All right.
And then, pursuant to finding the Big W, we wound up selling our travel agency and retired to the Big W. Retired
to the Big W. Now, what does the W stand for?
Well,
and say the name, because I cannot pronounce that name. It's where he moved to. Okay.
The name is Wolfboro.
Okay.
And on the first page of the book, I said, everybody knows the Big Apple is New York City.
Okay.
And everybody knows the Big Easy is New Orleans. And everybody knows the Big D is Dallas. If enough people read this book, everybody gonna know that the Big W is Wolfboro, New Hampshire, population 6,234.
I love it, and if I'd had that book, I would have known that. All right. But your webpage is not quite sharing that much information, but it's shared enough for me to get a little insight. I know as president of the Writing School of Acadiana, which you joined recently, just listening to you talk a little bit about the kind of stories you would write. I didn't know what kind of stories you wrote, but on the webpage, it gave me just enough information to know that, yes, I would like to get one of those books. Okay, so you were not always going to be a writer, so give us some of the writing roots. You got it categorized as writing roots. Okay, now what's this deal with the way you wrote and what your son-in-law did for a living? Bobby, how you say B-O-D-I-N? Bobby, how do you say it?
Bodie.
Okay, I would have said it right. Right. Okay, he's your son-in-law. Okay, and so how did you draw from his experience?
Well, he is my son-in-law, and I tell a story in the book, but I began writing him after I had moved up to New Hampshire, and I was enjoying the beautiful, pristine waters and clear mountain air and the beautiful trees and scenery. And he was a new federal agent working with the New Orleans City Police in the tenements and projects of New Orleans. And I thought maybe he would like to see what kind of idyllic life I was leading. And which I don't think he really was all that excited about it, but I sent him notes about what I was doing anyway. And I always have a positive outlook on whatever it is that I'm doing, and I try and make things funny, and I enjoy making people laugh. And so a lot of people started reading the emails, and everybody wanted a copy of whatever notes I was sending to Agent Bodak. And over the years, I sent quite a few. And I saved them all,
Okay, well, that was good.
thinking one day we might, do something with them. And after I had retired and had a chance to slow down a little bit, I said, well, maybe I'll do something with them. And so I began with the idea of writing, well, how do you take a collection of emails and make a book out of it? And essentially, what I did was I made a book that consists of actually 4 parts. The first part is how I got up to Wolfboro. And the last part is what I think about Wolfboro and my life up there.
Okay.
And in the middle is all these stories that I took the emails, and some of them I combined, but I just converted the emails to a collection of short stories. And I have a habit of giving people nicknames.
Okay.
And so I figured that I needed a cast of characters so that everybody know who I was talking about. So the very last part of the book is my cast of characters. And some people say the cast of characters should be first, but then I would wonder, people would look at that and say, who are all these people? You don't know until you actually read the book. So when I decided to write it, Wolfboro has a fairly large retired population. I run around with a bunch of old people myself. And I thought that maybe the book would have a certain appeal to some of those people who had retired and they had grandkids that would visit and whatnot. And so I was not writing for a big audience, just a small audience, but I was also writing for an audience that was about my age. So in the book, it's big print.
Okay.
Real easy to read.
That's nice, thank you.
And it has worked out pretty well. And when I finally got finished writing the book, I thought, well, I'm through. Well, no, you ain't. You said, well, we got to publish the book. And so I thought, well, I have written this wonderful book, and people are going to be beating down the door wanting,
Of course, we all think that, yeah.
to publish my book. They want. And so I sent a couple of stories to a couple of publishers, and they were not interested.
Welcome to the life of becoming a published, successful
So somebody
author.
suggested, I was in a writers group up in the big building.
That's right, okay.
And one of the guys in the group writes mystery novels. And he has written 6 different novels, and he published them himself. And he said, James, why don't you publish your own book?
Self-publishing.
So he told me where to go and what to do, and with my wife as my editor, I published the book.
Okay, well, let's back up a little bit. The writing style. I understand, according to what I read, you write like you speak. Now, these characters, did you change their accents or anything?
No, the accent in the book pretty much comes from me. And I have a very good friend here in Lafayette who's an English teacher, a retired English teacher. All of my friends are retired. And she's a retired English teacher, and I gave her my book to read it, and she went crazy.
All right.
She said, your English in here is horrible. I said, yeah, but that's the way I talk. And so she had to revise her revisions, and she finally accepted it.
But your book stayed what you wrote. It wasn't changed. You just made it more accurate, right? Language-wise. Okay, James, in your book, okay, you also, what I read, didn't get to read the book yet, but according to what I read, there was something hilarious about you being who you are from the South, moving to a totally different atmosphere. I understand you went to
Well,
purchase your
I
first
was-
snow blower? The snow blower?
I was a real oddity when I went up there. There's a lot of people who live in New England who retire to the south,
We're talking about New Hampshire.
New Hampshire. And there's a lot of people there who retire to the south.
Okay.
They don't have too many people from the south who retire up there.
I know, that's why the snow
And
blower is cute.
they were blown away by the fact that I showed up there, and the guy at the hardware store, who became one of my best friends, I went to him in January. My son-in-law told me that I needed a snow shovel. So I went to this hardware store, and I went to the guy, and I said, I know that I don't know. And so when I don't know, I want to ask somebody who knows.
That's right.
And I am told that I need a snow shovel, and so I want you to sell me a snow shovel and show me how to use it. And he's bigger than me, and he looks down at me and he says, "Aren't you from Louisiana?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "What in the hell are you doing here?"
What are you doing here?
And I said, "Well, he said, "Okay."
Which I
So
want to know too later why you went there.
So
Go ahead.
he gets me a snow shovel, which I still have, and that's a long time ago. And it's a very proper snow shovel. He says, "Now I'm not going to show you how to use it. You got to figure out yourself."
Wonderful.
But later on, during the winter, I had, it was my first time experiencing snowplows. And the guy came and he plowing the snow. Well, he was plowing the snow, and he came to plow my house. Well, I didn't have any room to put the snow, and he just would shove it up to my steps, and I couldn't get in the house.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I had to fire the snowplow driver from my driveway. And I said, I'm going to get a snowblower. I figure that's going to be the thing. So I did all kind of research on snowblowers. And I read up and I studied, and they had calculations you could figure out so they could tell you what kind of snowblower you needed. So I wrote it all down, and I went to the place that snowblowers because they had another storm coming. So I told the guy, and this is in the book, I told the guy, I said, "I need a snowblower, and what I want is," and I gave him all the stuff of what I needed about my snowblower. And he looked at me and he says, and I knew what the price was supposed to be. He said, "I have one snowblower left. It's right there." He said, "If you want it, it's $1,050, and I'll deliver it for $25. And so I gave him my credit card.
And you have yourself a snowblower. So what happened? Did it take you?
Well, they brought it out, and the guy brought it, and now, you got snow falling, and it's all over the place, and the guy backs it out of the truck, and he says, "Okay, here's your snowblower." And I tell him, I said, "Now, you may not believe this, but I have never touched a snowblower before. Would you show me how to work it?" And he was awestruck. He could not believe that he was standing here in 2 feet of snow, and this guy had never seen a snowblower and just bought one.
That's right.
But he did what he was supposed to do. He showed me what all the little buttons and levers were for, and I loved my snowblower.
Well, now let's back up. Why did you move from warm climate to something very cold? What made you decide on your location
Again,
in New Hampshire?
I say this in the book, and really in the first page of the book. When people ask me why I came to Wolfboro, I answer with a question. I say, "You got any kids?" And
Okay.
because it's all Wiki Walk's fault. Wiki Walk is one of my kids. And Wiki Walk actually went to Colorado after she graduated from college. And she was working as a ski bum and a waitress at a hotel at night, and she fell in love with another ski bum and a busboy at the hotel, at the place she was working. And they were living happily in the mountains in Colorado.
Oh, yes. Okay.
And then her boyfriend's father sent him a message, said that, son, I'm getting ready to retire soon, and if you're interested in this insurance business, maybe you ought to come and learn it. If you're not, stay there and enjoy life. On your own, of course.
On your own.
Yeah. And so he thought about it, and he thought maybe that might be a better in the long run than staying out and being a ski bum in Colorado. So he left, and he went back to his home in Wolfboro, New Hampshire.
Okay, the Big W.
The Big W. And my daughter stayed in Colorado, and she was sore disappointed. And she tried to find herself. She went to Washington, she went all over, and she knew she wasn't going to be happy until she was with her boyfriend, even though it was in some place she had never heard of. So she drove up to New Hampshire, and she has lived there ever since.
And loved it, probably. Adjusted?
Well, she's not all that in favor of all the cold and the snow, and she likes to take trips to Louisiana and Florida and the Caribbean, but that's her home. She's lived there.
Well, that's it. Well, let me tell you something. In what a little bit, like I said, that was on the internet, it mentioned the kind of stories that you write. But so I decided to go check out your Facebook page. Even though it wasn't your friend yet, you had enough information on different little things, and it looks like you'd written some little stories, or something happened that day, you wrote about it, and somebody you told about through Facebook, and that's some of the kind of stories that you write.
Yeah.
So what do you write about? All kinds of stuff, huh?
There's a lot of things that are simple, innocuous things, but it depends on the viewpoint, how you look at them. And I can take a simple thing like the one that you read.
Yeah?
You know, it was not a big deal.
Let's see, I'm trying to remember. I read a couple of them on Facebook, but then I began to see the kind of writing you do.
The smoke alarm and
That's it. Oh, that was cute. That was
but it's just things that happen.
And that was true.
Oh, yeah.
That was true.
Everything I write, everything in this book is true.
Is that in the book, that smoke alarm thing?
It will be.
It will be? In the next book?
In my next book.
Okay, guys, this is hilarious, and I'm not even going to give it away. Why? It's even a story about smoke alarm. Okay, that was amazing. It was. I loved it. So anyway, so that's the kind of things that you have written down. Here's a bunch of stories. Huh?
Yeah, all of them. There's no.
But they're unique, guys. Believe me, if you could only read the one I just read, it's amazing stuff. You have to be sure.
It's all just everyday stuff, but with my slant and my outlook.
So you just kind of added to it a little bit, or you just told it your way? Told the truth, but your way.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, James. Okay. It says also to describe the Big W. Here, all I could get is the oldest summer resort in America. Was that your saying, or is it really known as that?
It is known.
New England town. That's what it was in there.
It is known as the oldest resort in America because before the Revolutionary War, the governor of that area was Governor Wentworth. And he had his offices on the coast at the city of Portsmouth. And he used to travel in the summertime to this lake, which today bears his name, Lake Wentworth.
Okay.
And he built a home on that lake. And every summer he would take his staff and everybody, and they would go and move to New Hampshire, and move to the Wolfboro area on this lake and stay there for the summer. So that became the first summer resort, and it is a legitimate claim.
Wow. Okay. We have about maybe now 4 minutes left of the show. Can you believe this? All that running around we did. Now the 26 minutes just flies like that. Okay, James, do you have any book signing events that's coming up? Or have you been somewhere? When did this book get released? Let me just go back to that. How long has this book been out there for
published the
people?
book a little over a year ago.
Okay, so, and you were from originally, how long have you been back in New Iberia?
Well, I live in Lafayette now.
You live in Lafayette now.
And I'm going back to New Hampshire in May.
To visit?
Yeah, just for the summer.
Okay.
I'm going to be like the oldest summer resort. I'm going
Go
back
warm
for the
up.
summer.
I mean, go cool off or whatever.
But before I go, I am going to participate in the Author's Alley at
Yes, I'm glad that you got
which
that
you
note. Yes.
suggested to me.
Yes,
And
it's,
so I'm going to be over there, and if people want to come
and that's
by.
at the South Regional Library coming up. It's on the Facebook page. It's where authors are invited to come, and they set up wonderful tables. You just get there, and there's no charge for it.
Yeah, we
and you meet other
talk to
authors,
everybody.
and you talk to everybody, and you find out what other things are happening.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Even if you would not sell many of your books, you get so much resource information, and you unite like-minded people. Well, good. So great. You're going to be able to that'll be your first book event as far as in Lafayette, I'm asking?
I haven't yet.
Okay, that's a good beginning, because look, this is
Yeah.
already April 17th. It's only a few days away.
Yeah.
That's wonderful, so you'll have enough books there just in case
Yeah.
somebody would want to. Okay, just why did you choose the picture? Tales from the Big W, which represents the
When I was
town that
looking
he
to publish the book, I had my son take this picture. This picture
Okay.
evokes what is really good about Wolfboro. This is a park on the lake Winnipesaukee.
That's the park itself.
And this park is actually featured in the book, but this captures the essence of Wolfboro
Well,
as
it's
a
nice to
summer
know that
resort.
it's actually the picture of the park that you're going to be sharing with us in that book. That's wonderful. Well, as I said previously, if anyone's interested in finding out where you are, all they have to do is you're also on Facebook. Is know the name, people, James Cross. Look, Alex Cross is a very famous author, so we have to be sure it's James Cross.
Not
And Alex comes up right next to your name when you Google him, so that's a good sign. But so if you would like anything, any information, type in his name on either Facebook or Amazon.com, and there he is. But the name of the book is Tales from the Big W. Now, since you shared a lot of stuff with us, what was the reason for writing this book? You really wanted to write it? Why?
I just felt the compunction to do it.
Somebody else said you ought to do
And
it.
the idea was to write the book. And it gives you once you have written a book and you actually have it published and you can hold it in your hand,
You got a real book.
it gives you a sense of accomplishment that matches very few things that I've done in my life.
To see your name in print, I can remember just seeing my name, and I don't mind saying 70 years old, only 15 years ago I saw my name spelled the way I spell it in print, and it still is amazing that when you see your name in print. So all of us people that name all of our children unusual names, they really get upset when they go looking for keychains and name tags, and they have to have it specially made because your name is not spelled because it's so unique. So with you, and see that's why I ask you. We want to be sure people know it's James Cross, because you had other initials, and we also have been posting up there. If you have any questions, then you can always shoot him an email. And so now I'm going to be having to do a few things to close out the show, but I want to thank you very much for coming on the show, and I think that you have got a great future in front of you as far as those different kind of stories. So I want to thank Acadiana Open Channel for this opportunity, and we also air every Monday night at 9 p.m. And so if you are interested coming on the show, we love sharing what's going on in the community, and this platform here and this station gives us that opportunity to share with people your heart's desires. Like today, I have James Cross, a newly released author who's just beginning to learn what marketing is all about. Get it out there, just do it, and be the person you are, and don't let anyone James change you and your stories? It's awesome opportunity. This is a book that has many stories in it. So thank you for watching, and again, thank you for coming in, James.
My pleasure.
Oh,
Thank you for
had
having
a
me.
great time. All right. And to Katie Ann Open Channel, thank you. And to my Franklin, Kenneth Franklin, my director, thank you for jumping through all those hoops to get this show started. Well, we're on the road to success. What else is going to happen? All good.